Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to join us today for this webinar, and it's great to have you all here today. I'm Tom from the UTAR division of program promotions. So today we are proudly invited the VIP from our faculties, the Faculty of Engineering and Green Technologies, to have a little the briefing, the sharing with us today. So we are invited the Dr. Humaira Nisa and Dr. Tan Kok Weng as our VIP today. So this later on the webinar we're going to start officially at 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. So the Dr. Humaira, we're going to have the little sharing first. Afterward, there will be the Dr. Tan. And after the Dr. Tan finish the sharing, we're going to have the Q&A sessions. So if you have any questions or you have any doubts you want to ask, then you can just put your questions to the chat box. So after the sharing is finished by the Dr. Tan, we're going to have the Q&A and we'll pick up the questions to answer accordingly. So because of the limitations of the times, right, the hour we have is not much. So maybe like we may not able to answer all the questions. We will try to answer all, but hopefully that we can answer all the questions. In case like if we are not able to finish all the questions, then we will collect the questions and send out to you later by the email. Yeah, for your information, today's the webinar going to live in Zoom at these platforms. Meanwhile, we're going to have a share live to our Facebook, the Facebook page, UTAR for you. So if happens to have any friends or any colleagues that would like to join us, but they are not able to join us through the Zoom, maybe they can just join us to our Facebook, the UTAR for you. Okay, so later on, you're going to start officially at 4 p.m. So we just wait for other friends to come in and join us. And now we still got around 1 minute to go to officially to start. Oh yeah, for your information, you're going to have evaluation forms later on after the sharing is finished. Then please just help us to fill up the evaluation forms to let us know your feedback and encourage us to further for the future webinars. Okay, now this is 4 p.m. Let us start the webinars. Hi, good afternoon again for all the friends to join us today. It's great to have you all at here. And I'm Tom again from the UTAR division of program promotions. So today we are proudly invited the Dr. Humaira and the Dr. Tan to have a sharing with us with the topic, the program preview about the Master of Engineering, Electronic System, the Master of Environmental Engineering, the Master of Sustainable Construction Management. So what is the differences, and is it something that you need or the market is need for these talents? Later on, the Dr. Humaira and the Dr. Tan are going to have the sharing with us. So before that, allow me to introduce you the UTAR. For those that may be like not so familiar with the UTAR, so this is the UTAR locations. We actually have two campuses. The one at the Kampar campus at the Perak State, and the other one is at Sungai Long campus, the Selangor State. The Dr. Humaira and Dr. Tan both are from our Faculty of Engineering and Green Technology, and the FEGT is located at the Kampar campus. And definitely the programs that we are briefing today are from the Kampar campus as well. So these are pictures that show to you about our campus, the Kampar and the Sungai Long. So Kampar is a quite big, huge place and still got a lot of potential for the developers. Okay, so we have got plenty of lands that haven't been developed and it's quite potential. Currently, we have our UTAR hospitals under construction and going to be operate on 2022. And the Sungai Long campus is quite a different view. There are actually two big, huge building stand at the Sungai Long. So when you are driving into a Sungai Long, definitely the first sight what you see is the UTAR buildings. Okay, so after the UTAR, so let me introduce you our today's VIP. The first one, the VIP is Dr. Humaira. So Dr. Humaira, she is currently is the head of programs of the Master of Engineering, the electronic system, and she is quite expert in this area. And later on, she's going to have the briefing, the sharing for you about the electronic system and the trends for this field. Dr. Humara actually is obtains the Bachelor of Science, the Electric Engineering in the University of Engineering and Technology, and the Master of Science in the Quite Exams University, and the other Master of Science Mechatronics at the Gwangju Institute of Science and Technology. Finally, she get the PhD in Mechatronics under the Gwangju Institute of Science and Technology at South Korea. So later on, she's going to have a brief about the Master of Engineering Electronic Systems for us. The next speaker today, the VIP, is the Dr. Tan Kok Peng. And currently, he is the head of programs of the Master of Environmental Technology and the Master of Sustainable Construction Management at the Faculty of Engineering and Green Technology. So he is obtained the Bachelor of Science, the Chemistry, and the Master of Science Environmental Developments and the PhD Environment and Developments at the UKM. So no longer ado, before we're going to start to invite the Dr. Humara again. So later on, we're going to have a Q&A sessions. Just don't forget to drop your questions at the chat box. And now we are now we invite the Dr. Humara to have the first sharing with us. Dr. Humara. So now I stop our slide to let the Dr. Humara sharing her slide. Hi, Dr. Humara. You can now switch on your mic.
Mute and okay, a very good afternoon to all the audience and my colleagues. Today I'm going to have a brief introduction of Master of Engineering Electronic Systems program, which is being offered in University Tunku Abdul Rahman. And I am, as introduced by Mr. Tham, I am Dr. Humaira Nisar, and I'm the head of program. So let's go through a brief introduction that why we need to study a master's program. So if we look at the current scenario, we know that under the fourth industrial revolution, things are expected to change. Things have changed at how we live, work, and communicate. So, and behind this revolution, the electrical and electronics sector has become the key driving force, right? We know that the EE sector is estimated to be around 3055, equivalent to $3055 billion in 2020, and it will increase to $3699 billion in 2023. And this sector contributes to 81 million RM to Malaysia's GDP, right? So this is one of the driving force. And now let's look at the EE sector in Malaysia. So if we look at this chart, you will see that the EE sector means the electrical and electronic products share about 37.78% of the total exports of Malaysia. So which is a big share. And if we look at in terms of the investment, we will see that in 2019 there was 37% investment increase in the manufacturing sector in Malaysia. And if you look at this diagram, it lists different kind of products. So if you will see that at the bottom we have the the other natural products, metal, wood, textiles. And if you look at the top, you will be surprised that the EE sector is at the top, right? Electrical and electronics products, which make about 31% of the total investment. So this is also one of the incentive which gives an idea that what kind of education we should invest in. So if we further want to look into the EE sector in terms of employment, if you look at this bar chart, you will see that on the x-axis, these are the years in increasing order, and on the y-axis, we have the number of employments in 1,000. So if you look at the last two bars, 2018 and 2019, you will see that the number of employment in EE sector has been increasing, almost increasing steadily throughout from 2015 to 2019. You will see that the rate of getting employment in the EE sector is increasing in Malaysia, which is because of the reason is that the EE sector is developing and more investment is made in this sector, and which leads to the increase in the GDP of the country. So this is about the EE sector. But now you will be thinking that I have already a bachelor's degree. Why I have to study masters, right? Why must I do masters? So based on the statistics, if we look at the integrated circuit IC design engineering, which is basically deals with our Master of Electronic Systems Engineering, you will see that if you want to get a job in a very nice company, maybe a multinational company like Intel, Infineon, or the local companies also, because in Malaysia we have a very high profile microelectronic companies. So you will see that what kind of education level is needed. So according to the statistics, these companies normally hire the candidates who have a master's degree. So 69% of the hiring is done for the candidates having a master's degree in these companies, and this is 31% is the bachelor's degree, which makes it a very highly likely candidate is the one who has a master's degree in electronic systems. So if you want to join a very nice company, then there will be a 69% probability if you have a master's degree that you will be hired very easily. Okay, so this is basically the introduction, and let's now move to the program. So this program, Master of Engineering Electronic Systems, I have just included. It's a one-year program. This is the IPSR website. You can easily find it on the UTAR website. These are the indicative fees of the program. This is an international program, which means that not only local students study in this program, but we have international students also. And they can easily enroll in the program. And then this program is offered in two modes, full-time mode and part-time mode. So now let's look at a very brief introduction of the program aims. Why we want to have introduced, why we have introduced this program. The reason is that we want to cater the needs of the candidates from the industry. Let's say you have completed your bachelor's 10 years ago, and now you're working in the industry, but now you want to upgrade your education. So maybe you have more better, you can acquire better facilities in your company, right? So you can always have the ease of enrolling in our master's program, because we cater the needs of the students, the candidates from the industry. They can join our program as a full-time candidate, or we have a very good opportunity as a part-time candidate. They can have classes in the evenings and the weekend, right? And then we also, the program aims to, if you are a fresh graduate and you want to enhance your knowledge, you want to have more in-depth understanding of the field of microelectronics or electronic engineering, then you can join this program. So let's look at what is the program, what is the duration, and the entry requirement. So basically, if you are joining as a full-time student, then the minimum duration is 1 year. 1 year is equivalent to, we teach 3 trimesters in 1 year, and the maximum duration is 4 years. Whereas if you want to join it as a part-time program, then it is 2 and 6 years. And then we have the entry requirements. This entry requirements are available on the UTAR website as well. If you have a CGPA of 2.75 or above, you are eligible to join the program. There are other options as well. If your CGPA is less than 2.75, then we will conduct some tests and interviews. And if your CGPA is less than between 2 and 2.5, but you're working in the industry and you have relevant research and industrial experience, then you are also eligible to join. So there are many options for you to join this program. In addition to this, we also have the Apple A and Apple C intake. Okay, so now if we look at the structure of the program full-time, this is a very simple program. So we teach 6 core courses and 3 electives. So if you look at this, these columns, these are our courses that we teach. We have 6 core courses, which means that major courses, right? And then elective means that you can choose some advanced courses and you have some option to choose. And since this structure is for the May intake trimester, so you can see that we have 3 trimesters and the courses are distributed on 3 trimesters. And then these are the list of the electives. So you can enhance your knowledge in different fields, like you can work in VLSI design, embedded systems, or you can enhance your knowledge in optics, optoelectronics, or multiprocessor and multi-core systems. So we have different options over here for the course structure, different kinds of courses we offer. And then if you have, so this slide shows our part-time structure. The courses are exactly same for the full-time and part-time. The only difference is the duration, means the part-time, as a part-time student, you will cover the program in 2 years, means you will have 6 trimesters to follow. Okay, so this is about the course structure, and we have a very, very interesting opportunity with this program is the mutual credit recognition program. We have the MOU with Regensburg University in Germany, which means that if you join our program, then you can also have the opportunity to study in OTH, Regensburg, Germany, and then you can get two master's degrees, right? But of course, you have to spend 2 years, because in order to get 2 degrees, of course, one year in UTAR and almost 1 year in Germany, and then you will get 2 degrees. But the advantage of this is that you don't have to do double courses, right? We have the credit recognition option, in which means that the elective courses credits can be transferred. So you have to do the core courses in both universities, but the elective courses you can choose to do either in UTAR or in Germany, right? So this is a very, very interesting option. And it also leads to study and doing internship in the Germany. Internship means in Germany, normally you will be attached with the industry. And this program is funded by the DAAD grant. So you will get also some scholarship in Germany. Okay, so this is these are the 2 degrees, Master of Engineering and Electronic Systems, which you will get from UTAR, and the Master of Engineering Electrical and Microsystems, which you will get from OTH, Germany. And duration is around 2 years. And there are different options of staying in Germany. Minimum is 5 months and maximum is around 14 months. Okay, so this is a view of the cafeteria. Actually, this is the cafeteria of OTH Regensburg, and this is the related library of the OTH. So it's a nice place to visit. Okay, so let's look at the 2 degree programs. In UTAR, we have, as I mentioned, we have 3 trimesters, whereas in OTH, we have normally in 1 year, they have 2 semesters, which is the WS is the winter semester and SS is the summer semester, right? So if you want to join UTAR and then you want to go to OTH, So let's say you join in the May trimester, you will do 1 trimester with us in UTAR, and then you will go in October, you will go to OTH. You can stay in OTH for 5 months or 14 months, your choice. And then you will finish OTH degree, and then you will come back to UTAR. You will finish the January trimester, and for October trimester, you can say that you will credit transfer the courses, and you will finish in January with 2 degrees, 2 international degrees, right? And lots of industrial working experience. Okay, so this is also the same distribution, but for the time being, I think I will skip this. If you really want to understand this in detail, then you can always email us. Okay. Then I will also like to introduce our external examiner, because in order to maintain the integrity and the quality of the program, UTAR always employs external examiners who look at, who review the program and give us constructive suggestions. So our external examiner is Prof. Richard Arthur Comley, and he is the Director of Research and Professor in Middlesex University, UK. And then we have industrial advisory panel, which means that we have to keep this program very related to the needs of the industry. So we have the industrial advisory panel, which from time to time we meet them, and they give us advice about how we can freshen up our program. Every time we have to update our program, right? So Mr. Tan Soon Kyong is one of our IAPs, previous IAPs, and he is the director of Infineon. And currently we have the new IAP, which is Dr. Tae Yong Yap, and he is the operation manager in Intel Electronics. So we are working very closely with the microelectronics company in Malaysia in order to improve our program. The other IAP is IR Dr. Chan Seong Phun, who is the managing director of ESS Engineering, located in Ipoh. Okay, so this is a very brief overview of the program. You can just have a look at our research and lab facilities. It's a pictorial view. So we have the state-of-art research and lab facilities. Okay, this is the UTAR library. We have an extensive collection of books, e-books, databases. So you can get lost if you go into the library. Okay, and then these are some of the facilities in the library, and we have lots and lots of industrial links. If you look at this, OTH Regensburg, if you go to OTH, Infineon, Osram, all the companies are in the vicinity. Similarly here, if you look at UTAR, we directly work with Osram, Infineon, Intel, and many other companies. Okay. So I think this is all from me now. These are our industrial collaborators. And if you have any question, you can post your questions, and we will be very happy to answer your queries and your questions. Thank you very much.
Hi, thank you for Dr. Humala for a great sharing. So later on, we will come to Q&A. And now we are currently invite Dr. Tan to have the next sharing for us. It is about the Master of Environmental Technology and the Master of Sustainable Construction Management. So Dr. Tan, please. Dr. Tan, you can switch on the mic.
All right. Very good afternoon. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, it's clear.
Right. Okay. All right. So yeah, thank you for Mr. Tam from TPP to provide a slot for this webinar for 30 minutes. So I would like to talk about the issue of environment, the trend of sustainable developments. Before I introduce the UTAR, the master program, the Master of Environment Technologies, and the Master of Sustainable Construction Management. Right, so this is the outline for my presentations for this afternoon. So first, I will have a little bit on the introductions, followed by the driving forces and the environmental impacts, the problems, and also the topic related to the Sustainable Development Goals. And the last topic will be the information about the two master programs. Right, so we are in the Earth. We consist of living things such as humans, flora and fauna, mountain, soil, atmospheres, mineral, river, and sea. So this is a natural systems, a natural environment, and it is also known as ecosystems. Unfortunately, some of the humans and economic development activity is actually bring a negative impact to our ecosystems, both directly or indirectly. And this impact can be ranged from the minimums to the total disasters. So let me give you an example. Our main energy source mainly depend on the fossil fuel. So by burning the fossil fuel, so it will disturb the air qualities. Besides discharge of wastewater, we also change the quality of soil and the waters, and also disturb the distributions of the plant and the animal in the habitats. And this effect can act sectorally, and more frequently we act concert with one another within the ecosystems. Right, so the driving forces, so they are the driving forces behind the scenes and creating the pressure to our ecosystem, such as the population growth. So we know that we are increase of our the populations in our planets, and the population in our planets is reaching the new high level, which means that causing the high demand of food, job, space, and the population explosions, especially in the less developed and developed countries, nowadays is fighting for the limited resources. And what they can do is just open more land for the agricultures, extract natural resources, which continuing develop their country in not sustainable way. For example, intensive agriculture practice, which will produce more food to the people, but this could damage the environment through the usage of chemical fertilizers, pesticide, and insecticides. However, it doesn't mean we stop the growing of populations. But what we need is a sustainable manner to balance the demand and the environmental integrities. So in conjunction, more people need more food, more job, and more spaces to sustain the people livelihood, right? The government, each country government started different scale of the economic policies, so to develop the nations. And this become a second driving force, the economic growth. And economic growth is always incompatible with the environmental sustainabilities. And people are extracting the resources from the environment as an input in order to maintain the economic growth. And the environmental impact include the increased consumption of non-renewable resources, high level of environmental pollutions, increase of greenhouse gases, and also the potential loss of environmental habitats. And on the other point, we observed the global economic growth in the past century, and we realized that it had led to the decline in the availability of the natural resources, such as our rainforests, because we cut down our tree for the agricultures, and we demand for the wood, we demand for the forest resources. And some resources actually cannot be recycled, reused, or cannot be circular, just like the non-renewable sources. And such as if you lead the decline in source of the crude oil, loss of fishing stock, due to overfishing, loss of biodiversity, which damage the natural resources that lead to the species extinctions. And following are the major environmental problem connected to the driving forces: the deforestations, natural resources depletions, environmental pollutions, as well as the climate change. Right, let's go for the first environmental problem, the deforestations. And deforestation simply means clearing the forest and make the land available for the residentials, available for the commercial use, industrial use. As we found that our forests are natural sinks of carbon dioxide and produce fresh oxygens, as well as help in regulating the temperature and the rainfall. But according to the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, it has estimated total 18 million hectares of forests are lost per year. At the present, forests cover 30% of land, but every year, tree cover is losing, especially in the Amazon rainforest due to the growing of populations, demand for more food, shelter, and the resources. And the long-term effect of the deforestation can be serious because they might cause loss of the biodiversity. And human activity is leading to the extinction of species and habitats, and also loss of biodiversity. And second problem, the natural resources depletions. This is a very crucial, right? For example, the forest resources, flora and fauna resources, energy, food, fossil fuel, natural gases are extracted from the natures in order to generate the economic income for the country. However, due to the economic and the population growth, more places are exploited and the resources are not conserved. And also the extraction rate is accelerated due to the advancement of technologies. You can see from this slide, this is in the fishery sectors. So now we have an advanced fishing vessel. And for the logging activities, right, you can see that previously in ancient time, we have using this traditional axe, cut down the tree. And nowadays we have a logging machine which can cut down the tree within a minute. Environmental pollutions, I believe that this is a long history problems, pollution of air, pollution of water and soil. And the main sources of the environmental pollution is come from the industry as well as from the domestics. Industry and domestic waste to the environment, especially using the chemical, herbicide, pesticide, plastic, e-waste, hazardous waste from the industry are the main challenge. Let's take one example, the domestic waste generated from the household. And you know that the plastic waste now is a major stream in the solid waste. This is due to the increase of plastic bag, the plastic packagings, PET bottles, other goods and appliances using the plastic as a major components. Perhaps you may think that is not responsibility after you're throwing the rubbish out from your house. But there's a probability when the chemical substance enter into the food chain, eventually it will come back to our life. Such as in order to decompose the plastic waste may take 400 to 500 years. And there are some scientific research has discovered the microplastic particles is actually was found in our fish, in our fruit. And last one, the last problem is the global problems, the climate change. I believe that this issue is no longer strange to everyone, right? So it has been discussed in almost every time in the mass media, in environmental conferences, social medias frequently, right? Due to increase of level of atmospheric greenhouse gases, especially the carbon dioxide produced by the fossil fuel combustions. And according to the NASA monitoring station in Hawaii, the CO2 concentration nowadays in the Earth is recorded nearly 412 parts per million in year 2019. So this is actually a new record, which is higher than any point for past 800,000 years ago. And highest greenhouse gases will change the long-term global or the regional climate patterns, right? Creating the extreme weather conditions, increase the maximum temperatures, prolonged drought, and also prolonged raining seasons, melting glaciers, sea level rise, as well as causing the tropical disease outbreak, because we have a getting more warm environment in the countries. Right, the following slide will show the impact of the climate change, which permanently change the ecosystems. Like for example, this is recorded in the Montana park, which cover 150 glacier back in 1800s. But now, based on the record in year 2012, is only 20% of the glacier remain in this national park. Right, so this is one of the records, the prolonged drought in the United States, in California. And this is another losing of glaciers in Alaskans. You can see the difference. The picture was taken in year 1930, and the picture taken in 2005. And this is one of the important coral reef in Australia. The breachings of the Australia Great Barrier Reef, right? You can see almost all the coral reef between is dying in the areas. So what is the solutions? So people always talking about the sustainable development. It's the solutions for those problems. But how we can do that sustainable developments? And sustainable development is a conceptual framework which being promoted since the decades by United Nations, right? So the approach is to meet the needs of present generation without compromising the ability of the future generations in order to meet their needs. If you open the Google search, you can find a lot of definitions about the sustainable development, right? So in other words, this is to continue the human development. At the same time, we are sustaining the abilities of the natural systems to provide the natural resources and ecosystem services. And in order to translate the sustainable development concept, there are 17 goals, right? Total 17 SDG, in short form, we call SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, are developed and emphasized by the country leaders. And the Sustainable Development Goals are the blueprint to achieve the better or more sustainable future for all. And they address the global challenge, what we're facing now, including the poverty, inequalities, climate change, environment degradation, peace and justice. And the Sustainable Development Goals, the scope is wide. It's ranged from a social aspect to the environmental aspects. But we have to be ambitious to protect our environments. And this 17th SDG is our shared visions of humanities and a social contract between the world leader and the people. And along with this SDG, there are also 169 targets in order to address the 17th goals by year 2030. This is recognized as a holistic solution to solve our Earth's problems. So I think this is the right time for us to take the right actions towards saving the Earth from the major environmental issues and sustaining the finite resources necessary, which provide the needs for future generations. And if we do not take the action today, these negative impacts are sure threatens the human livelihood in futures. Of course, we would like to continue our development, but at the same time, we need to consider the achievement of sustainable development goals. Maybe you feel a lot of questions in your mind, how we can do it, how we can link it to the master program in UTAR, the Master of Environment Technology and also Master of Sustainable Construction Management. Maybe just let me take one example, the SDG, the climate actions. Right, to explain to you how it can work, and yeah, SDG 13, the climate actions, right? Just briefly explain to you the targets. The target is to limit the global warming by 1.5 degrees Celsius as called in the Paris Protocols in year 2015. It means that the greenhouse gas emission must begin falling by 7.6% each year, starting from year 2020. However, it is not realistic to rely on the government policy alone without involvement different stakeholders, especially the private sectors. So therefore, United Nations has proposed 6 climate possible action under this SDG 13 for government to take once they go about to build back their economic and societies. The green transitions, the green investments, green job, and the sustainable and inclusive growth, green economy, which making the society and the people more resilient through a transitions, investments in the sustainable solutions. This means that we will explore more renewable resources, more environmental friendly sources, and also emphasize about the polluter pay principles, confront all climate risks, the climate risk related to the flood disaster, drought disasters, or any natural disasters related to the climate change, as well as the last actions is about the cooperations among the country in the world. Right? In order to achieve the SDG target, we have to fully realizing the technologies development and transfer for both improving resilience to the climate change, reducing the GHG emissions. Right? I mentioned green investment is mean that bump in the money into green technologies developments, creating a job related to the sectors. And as a country contributions, right? Malaysian government actually developed 2 policies. One is a national policy on the environment. Second, national green technology policies. And the highlight of these 2 policies is the development and application of product, equipment, and a system used to conserve the nature environments and resources, which also minimize and reduce the negative impact of human activities. And meanwhile, the Malaysian government's agenda aims to drive the growth of Malaysia's green economy through different green technology tax incentives. Right? For example, you can see the green investment tax allowance, green income tax exemptions for the private sectors until the year 2023. Maybe I just take one example, the net energy metering scheme, which also encourage investment in the green equipment productions. As well as the adoption of green technology by the service provider, right, by the companies, which to motivate the company to acquire the asset that has been verified as green. And many people may consider environmental science and environmental technology sustainable development is not so-called popular in the educations, because a lot of people think it is not making money if you graduate from these disciplines. But we have to bear in mind is the world now is changing. You can see the SDG, you can see our government's policies. Right, in line with the global trends, the SDG, the national policy on green technology, we can actually see the opportunities in terms of financially benefits if we contribute for environmental conservation, adopt the environmentalisms in our business, such as green investments, This is the trend now, right? So with a one knowledge in relevant areas such as environment tech, green buildings, you are not only helping for the environmental conservation, but you're creating the job opportunity for yourself into the highest level, right? Now, I would like to take the opportunity to share with you the two master programs, the Master of Environmental Technology and also the Master of Sustainable Construction Management. So it is a one-year program for full-time study, total 40 credit hours. And it is open for those who are holding the science and engineering degrees. Or if you do not have the related degree, but if you're working in the environmental sectors for more than 5 years, right, you are welcome to apply and enroll in these two programs. And this program is not only offered for the environmental science or environmental engineering students or graduates, but it is also if you come from different science disciplines, different engineering discipline, you're also welcome to enroll into these programs. So if you're interested, please follow the URL. So the detailed information about these two programs, such as the total fee, entry requirement, and list of the courses. So if you click in this URL, you can actually see all of these information. So this is a list of the courses under Master of Environment Technologies. And this is the list of courses offered for Master of Sustainable Construction Management. So if you have any questions, you are welcome to send me an email, right? I will reply you shortly. Right, thank you very much for your patience, and I pass the mic to Mr. Tam. Thank you.
Hi, thank you, Dr. Tan. It's a great sharing. And now let me to switch to my slide. Hold on a second. Okay, now we are come to the Q&A box. So before we officially start the Q&A, right, just remind that we are posting the evaluation forms at the chat box. Just click the link and fill up the feedback for us so that we can know what to be improved. Okay, so now come to the Q&A. If you have any questions, you can just put it in the chat box so that we will pick up and answer accordingly. And now, Dr. Tan, hi. Now maybe like we come to the first query about the Master of the Environmental Technology and the Master of Sustainable Construction Management. So since just now you are sharing with us quite a lot of about the environmental issue and the methods, right? Is it? So in the construction field, how can we practice the sustainable constructions in this area compared with the construction management studies?
All right, okay. So thank you for the questions. So for sustainable construction management, yeah, maybe I just talk about the constructions, right? If you see that the traditional construction practice nowadays, you see that the practice in the construction site, there is no any sustainable practice. For example, for the stock keepings, open land for the construction site. Besides that, the material used in the buildings is actually one of the contributions to the environmental problems, right? In this Master of Sustainable Construction Management, you will learn some knowledge how to choose the construction materials, which is environmental user friendly, how to manage the projects, which is minimize the impact to the environment, as well as maximize the benefits for the companies. So I think this is one or 2 points I can share with you. Other than that, I can also highlight about the green buildings, which is also part of the syllabus in these programs, right? We know that green buildings is nowadays a popular concept, because with the green building concept, the building that you have built is actually environment friendly. For example, the energy efficiencies, the water efficiencies, less solid waste generated from the buildings. Right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for Dr. Dan. And since we talk about sustainable construction strategy, how about the environmental technology? I mean that just now you mentioned that from the engineering, the background is eligible to apply for the programs. But the matter is, if I'm from the engineering without the bio study, is it possible for me to proceed to these studies?
You mean you have a bio
Background.
Yeah, yes, of course. Previously, we have a graduates come from Bachelor of Science in Biology. We have no problems to get the students.
Which means that for these programs, we are open for the engineering studies and the background from the biology to proceed, right? Is it?
Yes, any science degree and also any engineering degree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for the answer.
But if you do not have the science or engineering degree, let's say you're working in the environmental sector for more than 5 years, right? Even though you are holding the Bachelor of Business Admin, you're also welcome to enroll the programs.
Okay, so means that even I'm from the non-science background, I am also eligible to apply for the programs.
Yes, the requirement is you must have sufficient at least 5 years working experience in the relevant sectors.
Example, like if I'm working in the construction site, but I'm actually is a business background student. Okay, possible for me to apply?
Yes, you can apply the sustainable construction management.
But there's a case by case base, right? Is it?
Yes, yes, and then there will be a written test, right? And also the interview, the technical assessments.
Okay. So how about the environmental technology? What is a career prospect like compared with the construction? Maybe like we know that more specifically under the infrastructures prospect. But how about the environmental technology? What's the prospect of the jobs?
The environment technologies, of course, we are talking about the conservation, the green energy. Of course, there's some student graduated actually they will go to the consultancy firms who are doing the renewable energies. Right, the market nowadays is a trend to, I think it's quite high demand, the market demand for those graduates who has the knowledge on the renewable energies. For example, the biogas, the solar energies. So these are the two fields nowadays is very hot in the market. Other than that, can become the consultants, the environmental consultants, and also can join as a government officers, and also they can join as the international organization, for example, the UNESCO, the UNEP, right? There are some opportunity for the graduates.
Okay, means that for this, the environmental technology probably is more focused to the industrial or the factory sectors, right? Is it compared with the constructions?
Yes, it's more on the industry. It depends which sector that the graduate would like to enter. If he want to join the factories, then he can go for in these directions. What if he want to become a consultant, just like providing the professionals consultancies, right, on renewable energies, so he can join in some company how to design the solar panels, for example.
Okay, so let us go through the questions. How about the BEM recognitions for this master program? Is this recognized by the BEM or IEM?
Oh no, this is not. All the master program is not recognized by BEM.
Okay, so in contrast, like if I already have a 3 years the bachelor degree in the engineering, my bachelor degree in fact is like 3 years programs. Can I join to this the master of environmental technology so that I can earn the BEM recognitions?
because BEM recognitions for professional engineers depend on the first degree. So if you join the master program for our master program, so it is not actually it is not the way for you to get the recognitions. So you still need to go back to the first degree, whether your first degree is recognized by BEM or not.
Okay. So thank you for Dr. Tan. Maybe like we invite the Dr. Humara to come for our next query. Hi, Dr. Humara.
Hi, Mr. Tam. Okay.
Hi, afternoon. Yeah, thanks again to answering the questions for us. And let's talk about the electronic system. So how is the market trend for the electronic system currently in Malaysia? Like means like job market or demands?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Tham. And this is a very nice question. As you know that the demand with the fourth industrial revolution, the demand for connected systems, right? The connected systems and the way that we behave and we work and we interact each other is changing, right? So with this demand, the electrical and electronic industry is growing a lot. Just like look at the situation in COVID. All of us are working from our homes, but all of us are, I feel that we are more connected, right? We are more connected to each other. And that's why the demand for microelectronics, specifically the electronic systems that we are dealing with is growing very, this industry is growing very quickly, very rapid growth is in the industry. And if you look at Malaysia, the market in Malaysia, because of the government policy, as well as the demand and the international demand also, Malaysia is located at such a location that many international companies want to invest here. So we have lots of international multinational companies, Infineon, Intel. Then we have the local companies like Vitrox, which many companies are working in microelectronics. So I have never seen any graduate who is jobless. So I think there is a very good demand for this field in Malaysia.
Okay, so what you understand now is the electronic system maybe like a little bit crossover with the IT knowledge, right? Is it? So will this one, the Master of Engineering Electronic System, will include some like the IT studies?
Master of Electronic System is more related to the computers, embedded systems, IC design, very VLSI technology. It's more related to more in depth the electronic devices that we create. Just like if you open up any electronic device, you will see a PCB board, right? And there will be some etching and some components, right? So it's more related to that. But of course, you see that IT is everywhere. We need IT to run many things. Even if you talk about Internet of Things, and now we have more advanced term, AIoT, artificial intelligence. It's coming from AIoT, right? So all these things are, because of the fourth industrial revolution, all these things are getting integrated, right? But electronic system is basically more in-depth study of how we create these devices. Okay, so this is more related to that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for answer. And how about the OTH here? Do you mind to like describe a little bit further for us about the syllabus between the OTH? Like, is it the options for us to study at Malaysia and Germany, or we are compulsory to proceed the master programs to the Germany?
Okay, so thank you very much for this question. Actually, this is an optional program. If you want to study only in Malaysia, you can study only here and you can finish your degree in 1 year. But if you want to have an international flavor, right? And if you want to get experience in the international, you can say how things are being done in different countries, then it will be a good option that you can join the OTH Regensburg. And there's lots of advantages for this. First of all is that you can get 2 degrees, right? 2 master degrees, one from Malaysia and one from Germany. And if I further explain this scenario, Maybe someone will think that I have to study too much. For 2 degrees, as compared to 1 degree, I have to do the double study. No, it's not like that. You have to do only the compulsory courses at both places, but the elective courses means 12 credits you have to do at any one place. Either you choose to do in Malaysia or you choose to do in Germany. And then we can transfer them. We can accept that you have done these elective courses. So it means that you have to study slightly less, but you will get 2 degrees. One advantage.
So in order to have the 2 degrees, I have to proceed to study at the Germany, right? Is it?
Yes, yes.
If I only study in Malaysia for the whole year, master program means I only have the UTAR certificate.
Yes,
right?
You will get UTAR's degree. Yes, 1 degree.
1 degree. Okay. So it means that in order to have the 2 degree, I have to start my master at UTAR. Afterwards, I proceed to the Germany for, right? Is it?
Yeah, you can start at UTAR, and then since you will get admission at UTAR, it will be easy to get the admission in Germany, although it is processed separately. So you
I have to
apply.
extra pay to the Germany's university, the OTH recognized.
Because OTH in Germany, the education is free, so you don't have to pay for your education. And this relationship is also based on a grant from the German government, which is known as the DAAD grant. So the students who go to Germany will be supported, not fully supported, but they will have a support from the DAAD grant also. In addition to that, when you work in Germany, there is a rule that you will be paid. So if you will be doing internship in Germany, and when you will do your project in Germany, you will be paid by the company. So it makes almost a major amount of your living expenses. You don't have to spend a lot.
Okay, means that my understanding for this, just now previous slide, you show us about the local students about 18,000 something for the master programs, which means that I pay for the 18,000 somethings, then I am possible to have 2 degrees. I don't have to pay extra.
No, you don't have to pay extra.
Oh, okay, that's great. Thank you. But in this case, for the Master of Engineering, when I proceed to the Germany, can I have any other allowance other than from the DAAD?
Yeah, the other allowance will be if you will work in a company, then they will give you some pay, right? Some kind sort of stipend. So that will be the allowance.
Yeah,
but not from Malaysia, not from here.
But I have to pay for my flight ticket, right? Is it?
Yes, a little, and of course you need to have some money to for safe travel also. Yes.
Okay, so there are 3 intakes per year compared with the others programs. Is it?
Yes, we have 3 intakes: January, May, and September intake.
Okay, so thank you for answering for questions. And now we are almost come to the end. It's almost the 5 p.m. Thank you again for the Dr. Humara and the Dr. Tan to spend the times with us this great Saturday noon and have the sharing with us about the master programs from the FEGT. And if you have any further questions that you would like to ask but not on the spot, maybe you can just send the email to them, or you can directly to the division of program promotions. So before we finish for the webinar, let me proceed to some other information for you. Okay, so what you see in the screen, there is a IPSR, stand for the Institute of Postgraduate Study and Research. So this is the institute that in charge of the postgrad applications as the other process of the postgraduate. So if you are interested to apply for the master programs, the Master of Engineering Electronic System, the Master of Environmental Technology, as well as the Master of Sustainable Construction Management, you can submit the application forms to the IPSR. Or if you are not sure about your background, whether it's eligible to apply for the programs or not, you can just send the email to IPSR, or you can send to us the DPP. Later on, we're going to show you the email address. So this appel For your information, actually, if you are the diploma holder, you are come without the bachelor degree, it's still possible for you to apply for the master programs. Okay, you can do it by the Appel A and Appel C. The Appel A means that you can directly go through the master without the bachelor degree. You need to sit for the Appel test at the test center, and with the certificate issued by the Appel, you can just apply, attach and apply for the master programs. And the Appel C is the credit transfer. You have the professional knowledge or the certificate that relevant to the syllabus of our master programs. You can apply for the exemptions. For details, you can just check with us about the Appel. And there is some extra information for you that the ranking of UTAR in Malaysia currently and also in the worldwide. Okay, so is from the THE, the Times Higher Educations, and in fact we are actually ranked number 2 in Malaysia, and for the worldwide we are being ranked the 501 to 600 to the worldwide university, and luckily we also have been ranked for the 119 for surrounded all the Asia Pacific university. So these are great achievements that we are very thankful for our academic staff and our students that to have such the to have work a lot to achieve for such a high achievements. Okay, come for the other informations for you. If you have any inquiry to meet, you can just join our Cyber Open Day. The Cyber Open Day is coming soon from the 20th of March until the 4th of April from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. Okay, means that we are open Monday to Sunday every day, 9 to 5, except for the public holiday. So you can just join our Cyber One Day. We have the live chat. We have the video chat. Means that you can go through the online, have a face-to-face chat with our lecturers. And also we have the webinars. We have a career guidance. If you need some tasks to guide your future career, then you can just join our career guidance test. And we also have a virtual campus tour. If you are not managed to cross-state to the Sungalong or the Kampar, you can just join our virtual campus tour. And we also have a student project to show to you, at least to let you know what the students are doing in UTAR. So don't forget to join us. You can just make the inquiry through during the Cyber Open Day. It's from 20th of March until the 4th of April. Lastly, this is our contacts. So again, the webinar I'm going to share live to the UTAR for you, and it will post to the UTAR for you. So after the webinar is finished, if you would like a playback or you have any friends you want to show to them for today's webinar, you can just back to our Facebook channel, the UTAR for you, for this webinar. And this is our WhatsApp contact. Anything about the master programs you would like to seek inquiry, you can just text us through this number showing on the slide. And also we have a WeChat service. As mentioned, we also have a live chat service. You can just go to our website, the study.utar.edu.my, to have a live chat service with us. And that is from Monday to Sunday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Lastly, we have the email contacts. So if you are not sure about your qualifications, you can just send your qualifications for us as a screening. You can send to the ipsr@utar.edu.my, or you can send to the postgrad@utar.edu.my. We'll click, will further assist you after we receive the email. Okay, that's all from today. Again, thank you for Dr. Humara and Dr. Tan to have a great sharing with us today and the precious experience they are sharing with us. And we're going to stop the webinar at here. See you again for the next webinar, and wish you a nice weekend. Bye-bye.